News about Intel started on Friday, but also over the weekend, we found out Apollo Global has offered to make a multi-billion-dollar investment in the company. That's according to a Bloomberg report. As we said, Qualcomm Friday floated a friendly takeover offer of Intel. Joining us now is Chris Caso. He's Wolfe Research senior analyst. Think there's anything to the Qualcomm approach, or how do you think this plays out with Intel down at $22 a share? It was way over, I think, 200, or at least 200 billion at one point, $93 billion market cap now, Chris.
Well, it's interesting now that, one of the reasons why we're talking about this is Qualcomm's market cap is about twice of what Intel's is today. But clearly the biggest impediment to anyone, doing something in terms of an acquisition for Intel is regulatory approval. And, particularly a Qualcomm-Intel deal would be very difficult to get by China. And obviously, both companies have a lot of business in China. So, the reaction investors, I spoke about it was somewhat skeptical along those lines. Apollo is a little different because Apollo has made investments with Intel already. That there's a fab in Ireland where there's a joint venture involving Apollo, and Intel has done other deals. So that one's more plausible and really along the lines of just reducing the amount of capex that Intel needs to put out. But the Qualcomm deal, it's a little tough to understand both the strategic rationale as well as how they would get past regulatory approval.
What do you think the future for Intel, with the CHIPS Act in mind, and there's some government assistance there. I don't know if once again, I don't know if the government knows how to pick the right companies to do things or not, but there's quite a few tax breaks involved, subsidies, actual grants that are going to Intel.
Right. Well, our view of the CHIPS Act is it did help to level the playing field if you were going to put a semiconductor fab in the U.S. versus Taiwan or Singapore. So there were other places people could go. So that helped. But with regard to Intel itself, the issue that we think the company faces, the reason why we're talking about all this right now, is that the market shifted from what Pat Gelsinger got there a couple of years ago, and Intel missed AI. And the core business, the server business and the PC business, is just no longer big enough to support advanced manufacturing and them having their own fabs, which is why, Pat's strategy is to go and build a foundry business to compete with TSMC. And I think, both, with what's happened with the stock as well as, what you're seeing, overtures from other companies is an indication that maybe there's a different path here. And our own view in terms of a path forward, we think something involving TSMC makes a lot of sense because TSMC already has a foundry business. TSMC needs to diversify outside of Taiwan, get capacity in the U.S. And Intel already uses quite a lot of TSMC in their chips right now. And something like that provides a more certain path forward as opposed to kind of what it is today, which is, we're going to try to build a foundry business, but it's going to take a long time and we don't have any business right now. And really, getting back, Intel's plan is getting back to what used to be acceptable levels of profitability. It doesn't happen until the latter part of the decade.
What do you make of the news about Abu Dhabi or the UAE or with either Taiwan or Samsung? And what would need to happen between the U.S. and China for that to make us feel comfortable? We're trying to diversify out of Taiwan. Right. I don't know, is UAE the right place?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if I were building facilities and something UAE, the attraction there is they're probably going to give me some money to do that. So, what we're seeing in semiconductors right now is a little bit of race for, we want the chips on our soil, we'll provide some subsidies to do so, and here's another one. But
Chris, we're having a debate over steel in the United States, for example. So the question is, why, if we're not allowing a Japanese company to own our steel company, if we believe that our chips are like the modern version of steel, why would we be doing it this way? Unless you think there's just no other alternative.
Well, and there is, and obviously, UAE is one place that there's. The fact of the matter is, there's plenty of places to put semiconductor fabs actually Japan is one of them. But the whole Nippon Steel thing you're talking about is, understand. But I think from an industry standpoint, the goal for TSMC and their customers is they've just got to get capacity outside of Taiwan to just avoid that concentrated risk. As long as from an industry standpoint, out the politics aside, as long as it's in some place that's friendly and stable, Singapore, Japan, the U.S., Europe, I think that hits the policy goals.
We were talking about lean economy. You're right, probably, with Qualcomm. But let's say that the regulatory issues aside, let's say it's not done right now. How much would you have to? What kind of a premium? Would there be any premium to buy Intel? I think right now, and obviously I haven't spoken to the company about this. They won't speak to me about it. But I don't think that's where their head is right now. With perhaps any premium, that they seem pretty stuck to their goals right now. But yeah, I mean, there'd probably have to be some substantial premium to convince management that this is a better way forward as opposed to where they're on. But I'll say also that investors right now, I don't think are fully on board with management's plan. The stock price indicates that, right? And I think the investors that we're speaking to right now are looking for something different, something a little more secure, something where I don't have to wait 3 years to see if this foundry business comes about. And there's another risk along the way as well, I should say, which is, Intel's PC business is under attack right now from ARM. And right now, what's interesting with Qualcomm, you can buy a Windows PC with Qualcomm silicon on it today. And, much in the same way that Apple doesn't use Intel silicon anymore. And that's one of our other concerns with Intel's path forward, which is, well, what happens if something happens to their core market over the next 3 years while they're doing this? And ARM has said they seek to get 50% of the PC market over the next 3 years. I don't think that's likely. That's a pretty aggressive goal. But if it were to happen, then it just makes it all the more difficult for Intel to execute on their strategy. And I think that's what investors are thinking right now.